Now, we are going to look at this verse, the first verse in Panchadashi under the chapter heading, the differentiation of the real principle. For that it has started with the prayer or a praise about the Guru. He praises about the Guru. Who he signifies as Guru, who he says as his Guru, Samkara. About that, they are given this first verse. Salutation to the lotus feet of my Guru, Sri Shankarananda, whose only work is to destroy the monster of primal nescience together with its effect, the phenomenal universe. Salutation to the lotus feet of my Guru. Who is this Guru actually? This Guru was an embodiment of named as Shankara or Shiva, a person by name and form. For the sake of an earnest seeker, he arises in his heart. He destroys all his nescience. They use the word primordial, primal nescience. What is this primal nescience? As we get up from deep sleep state, we are veiled. The very getting up process is taking place through the identification of a feeling of the body, of our physical body. How do we wake up? This is the primal nescience. I wake up with a job to be completed, as if an entity which is concretely discriminated as I amness. I had fallen into this I amness. This I amness is taking itself as the physical location. When the physical location comes into the I amness feeling, what it does, it has the capacity to do, to think, to navigate, to become one or the other in the next very moment. Thereby the time also comes to this. So as if time and space are mingled in the body, as well as in the thinker, as well as in the feeler, as well as in the ego, all put together, all the 5 sheets of existence, all the 5 sheets of veils that take place the moment one gets up. This is what is primal nescience. See, because of my I amness, because of my feeling that this is that particular I am feeling, and that is going to use it, act upon in the very next moment by thinking, by planning, doing something, thinking about something, being something, becoming something in time, and going into the past also, getting into the past also. See, yesterday I told that I will come today and meet him. So this thought immediately comes forth into the mind. One simply takes himself to be that thinker and the body to be the thinker, and the body as if that thought, immediately he wants to go and meet him at a particular time during the day when he has woken up. This type of a constant veiling, ignorance, that is continuously hiding the reality from us. This what he says, this Acharya, salutation to the lotus feet of my Guru Sri Shankarananda, whose only work is to destroy the monster of primal nescience. Primal. At the very outset, at the very beginning of existence, a separate existence. It is not existence embodiment. that which existed during our deep sleep. It is a separate existence, because I amness first comes. Unless I amness enters in me, thoughts cannot arise. Unless I amness enters in me, I cannot identify with my feelings of the body or about my possessions. So I amness has to enter. This is what is primal nescience. Together with its effect, the phenomenal universe. What is this? Primal nescience, together with its effect, the phenomenal universe. I am not simply made into thinking that I am the body. It has a purpose here. It has a motive here. Before getting into sleep the previous night, the motives were held as my thinkers. The motives were held in the body as if it is the feeler. So there was a constant center which was working in and through. This is what he says in this sloka, in this verse. What he says? Namah Shri Shankarananda Guru. Who was that Guru? It is the self itself. And for the sake of an earnest seeker, it takes a form, it comes in front of him, it shows the way. Having perfectly realized, just for the sake of an earnest seeker, it descends into a form, physical form. Like that, the great Lord Shiva, whom he adores through this verse, he adores through this verse the Lord Shankara himself. Who was that Lord? Shiva. Shiva was also a being, descended into a form and became a Lord. Actually, we are all Lords. That is what is Advaita. That is what is Advaita teaches. What does Advaita teach? It teaches that during our deep sleeps, we have transcended the fake self and we are that real self. This is what is the discrimination. How this has become fake, how this is becoming fake, how this is becoming illusory, how your feeling becomes illusory by identifying with the body. All these things are going to be expounded in this book. That is what we are going to see. So, this monster of primal nescience is destroyed. Primal nescience. See, we are caught up with cataract in our eye. Eye is the only means through which we will have to see whether an object is big or small, colors, everything. So, in the eye itself, if something veils the vision, the retina, we just can't do anything. We just can't see anything at all. Whether big or small, vision is out. In the same way, at the outset, each human being is veiled by this nescience called a separate identification as a feeling as his body. The feeler is as if the body, the thinker is as if the body, but they are not so. What are they? They don't have existence at all. They arise, feelings arise, thoughts arise because of I amness. That is the primal nescience. That I amness is endowed with lot of registrations of past. That comes into existence. When that comes into existence, he is completely veiled. He just can't be real at all. It doesn't have any authenticity at all. For proper completion and propagation of the book, the author Vidyaranya bows down to the teacher Shankarananda for proper completion. You will have to take it forward, no? Forward in the sense, the veiled being should be cleared of that veil, that ignorance. First, this has to be destroyed. That's the purpose of a realized soul. He doesn't entertain the world at all within himself. What is realization? I just realized that my feelings as if that are taking place in my body is not real. The appearance of my body itself is coming out of past. So that job has to be completed, no? That is why they take the form. Shankara, the Lord Shiva, has taken the form to complete this task. Just because he has descended in him, in Vidyaranya Muni, he took complete responsibility, adorned the same Lord to give him with the strength of properly completing this task and propagating to the whole of the humanity. This sloka also gives the subject matter and the end or purpose of the book, namely the identity of Jiva and Brahman and gaining of supreme bliss and destruction of nescience. They call it as opposite of the word science. The self is science. Self is a science. That which dwells as our heart, that which is beyond our feelings, that which is beyond our words, the names and forms, the videos and audios of this individual mind. He is the supreme self. This is called nescience. This is not a science, and that is a science. Our deep sleep state is a perfect science. What so far we have been holding in our mind as this empty space, the vast empty space, it is not held in vacuum. It is a creation of many forces and matters. All the forces, matter, quantum particles, quantum level matter, they are all constituting this empty space, which is not empty at all. Because our eyes are not able to see, what it sees is unreal. The very projection of our thoughts as our seeing capacity is unreal. The very feelings are unreal that arises, that goes through the mind and projects itself as something is being seen, as something is being heard, as something is being touched, tasted, smelt. This sloka also gives the subject matter and the end or purpose of the book, the identity of Jiva and Brahman. The identity. We are no different from that Godhood that we are naturally during our deep sleep state. In this sloka, these words describe that primal nescience, the master of primal nescience. What are these words? Savilasa Mahamoha Graha Grasaika Karmane. Savilasa Mahamoha. Savilasa means display of, it's a play. Vilasa means play. The grand play. The grand play is the manifestation of this cosmos. It is permeated by illusion. That is what is called as Mahamoha. Mahamoha. One is attracted. Objects attract our visions. Taste attracts our tongue. Whose tongue it is? Thinker takes himself to be the tongue and tasting something. But who is actually tasting? The mind wants it. Our minds want a particular dish to be tasted. Our ears want musics to be heard. This is what is called as Savilasa Mahamoha. Actually, what this leads to? This is leading one to see whether a taster, a hearer, a seer, a person who touches, do all these experiences have any locational entity within oneself. When he sees this clearly, for this Guru's guidance is essential. Without a Guru's guidance, one just can't see the truth behind all these feelings and thinking. One cannot see. That is why he adores. You had opened my real eye. These eyes are useless. My mind is useless. My intellect is useless. My very I amness is a fake. It can only veil. It can never reveal the truth to me. For the truth to descend, you had descended in me. You had bestowed me. You had given me this inner eye. In Tamil also, Manikavasagar says in Siva Puranam, Sivan avan en sindayul nindra adanal. Avan arulale avan tal vanangi. Sindai magida Siva Puranam tannai. Mundai vinay muludum oya uraipan yan. This is how he starts that verse in Tamil Siva Puranam. Sivan avan en sindayul nindra adanal. Firstly, he descended within me. Because of him, because he bestowed me with his grace, I could see that everything of me is nothing but past. Mundai vinay muludum. All my feeling, thinking, acting, non-acting, being lazy, being productive, non-productive, the whole of the cosmos, everything is nothing but a display of karmic past. Actions that been going on, beginningless, middleless and endless. But for to break this open, for to blow it and to show it, the Guru's grace should descend in us. It had happened to me. This is what Manikavasagar has said in Siva Puranam. Sivan avan en sindayul nindra adanal avanarulale avan tal vanangi. Sindai magida Siva Puranam tannai mundai vinay muludum. Siva Puranam. Purana means old actually. Wow, who is that Shiva whose Purana was so old? The old story. The only story is self. Since it is beginningless, they call it as Purana. Siva Puranam tannai mundai vinay muludam. For a separate jiva only, for a separate organism only, the past comes into action through his past registrations. Otherwise, it doesn't exist at all. This has to be seen within us. We cannot destroy our actions, but we can see within us who is the performer, the doer of any action. Even thinking is an action, feeling is an action. At the outset itself, one is veiled. This is what has to be seen. This is what our Acharya also, this Acharya also says. The identity of Jiva and Brahman and gaining of supreme bliss and destruction of Nesayan. Supreme bliss, Shankarananda Guru. Ananda Guru. He is teaching Ananda. How? By making us to realize that there exists no separate Jiva at all, no separate mind at all, no separate registrations at all, no separate past actions at all, no I amness at all. Everything is broke open. The word Shankara also means the Paramatman who is the source of all the joys of the world. What they say? Non-personal, only Supreme Self. The word Shankara also means the Paramatman. Who is this Parama Atma? Parama means beyond. The Atma that is having its abode in the beyond, in the transcendent state. It is a state. Atman means not a person at all. It is only oneself. The cosmos doesn't have a separate existence from that self at all. It is existing in that self. That is what is called as Paramatman. That is existing during our deep sleep state. This is what he says. The source of all the joys of the world. The supreme joy is being undergone during our deep sleep. Would you deny this? You just can't. The truth is, the supreme happiness, supreme bliss, without even as a separate entity, we are undergoing this bliss. There is complete identification, union, one with the Supreme Self that is existing during our deep sleep states. This is what is the highest bliss we human beings undergo. The deep sleep state is the highest bliss. That is a state of complete bliss. Ananda is the Jivatman who is the dearest. Who is the dearest? Jivatman, the separate actor. Dearest actor to whom? Ananda is the Jivatman who is the dearest. Because his nature, our essential nature is bliss. Complete bliss. Undivided bliss. Because there is no separate experiencer in our deep sleep state. So it is our essential nature. That is why we try to seek it elsewhere when we wake up through our thinking, through our identification with this body. But those are all, the whole of the manifestation is illusory. It just can't give happiness to us at all, the bliss at all. So Shankarananda means Brahman and Pratyekatman. Shankara plus Ananda. Ananda is denoted Namah Shri Shankarananda Guru Padambu Janmane Savilasa Mahamoha Graha Grasaika Karmane. Shankarananda. Shankara is the Paramatman. Ananda is without differentiation, one and only Paramatman, that itself is the Jivatman too. His nature of Ananda is the Jivatman. The Shankara's Paramatman's supreme bliss is denoted by the word Ananda, and Ananda is nothing but its own intrinsic nature. The Jivatman is, actually we are all Supreme Lord. We are Shankara. We are that supreme existence, supreme intelligence, supreme isness. That is the bliss. So Shankarananda means Brahman and Pratyekatman. Pratyekatman means, Pratyek means separate Atman. He has no differentiation. But we, because of our ignorance, we having this veil as feelings and thoughts, we have separated ourselves. This he removes from us. This veil, our Guru, Shankarananda, he removes it from us. He is the Guru. Sri refers to special powers capable of giving the wealth desired. Sri Shankarananda Guru. This Guru is endowed with special powers because he has seen, he has realized. So with his realization, he is leading us into the real principle, that is the reality itself, that is our essential nature, that is our Swarupa, the real self. With this, we will end this session.